music. You will be inspired to think higher, realize your gift. Join the muses and Michelle and Gina. Turn this up and through your speakers. It's the music of music.
And a great day to everybody, no matter what time of the day that you might be tuning into the Muses Behind the Music. We are so grateful for your support. Hello to you all. My name is Michelle Fallon, and I am the host of the Muses Behind the Music. And we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Life has gotten busy, as I had put up a comment, and I said, life be lifing sometimes, and you just have to go with the flow. I'm grateful for the movement that has been taking place, but it has also taken me away from the presence of you all. But I'm believing and trusting that you have still watched other episodes of the Muses Behind the Music and been inspired and motivated, and then you're just excited for having Dr. Joyce Garrett back with us this evening to talk a little bit, because although she is retired public school educator, she is still busy, y'all. Like, life does not stop. My philosophy on that is, for me, is that, I'm not really retired until the good Lord removes me from this earthly realm. And I feel that it's almost the same way as Dr. Joyce Garrett. So before we even get into it, I want you to go on ahead to like, to love, to share with people, whether you're watching on the YouTube channel or you're on the Facebook page. Still invite your friends, because there will always be some sort of golden nugget that you can take from this conversation that's shared amongst myself and these phenomenal artists, these muses out here, that maybe you can apply to your life, or something that you're hearing that you never heard before that resonates so well with you, that is still applicable for your journey. That's the whole goal of why the Muses Behind the Music was created. So for those of you who do not know Dr. Joyce Garrett, shame on you, because music educators, I know that you have heard the name. Those of you who are in church music, you definitely have heard the name. Dr. Joyce Garrett has been doing this music thing for many years, and I first discovered who she was as the educator over at Eastern High School in Washington, D.C., where she served for over 30 years. Building this program called Excellence Without Excuses, which provided to the students this basis of choral music, but learning about discipline and college preparation, and becoming better human beings, and all through this gifting of choral music. And I think her program, I'm going to ask her to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think her program, for all those who came in, she had like a 95% graduation rate, and those who were college bound. And it provided scholarships for students who needed the financial assistance. It's so much more than music. And to me, that was the making of developing my programs as well. And me recognizing that it had to go a lot deeper than just teaching these kids about Beethoven and Mozart and all of these other fantastic composers. But it was really about the heart of making awesome human beings and people who were going to be contributors to society in healthy, positive manners. And that's exactly what Dr. Joyce Garrett did. So she's done it all, y'all. I mean, been with so many phenomenal people, and we'll talk a little bit to her about that. She's got this incredible project that's underway, and we'll need your support, your presence to be in the place. So we'll talk to her a little bit about that as well. Just you name it, over it. I'm just so pleased that she was able to come back and to join us. If you didn't catch episode number 1 with her, we'll go on back. It's still archived. You can catch us whether on Facebook or YouTube. But this conversation here Stay tuned and stick with us because you don't want to miss this. Will you kindly, in the way that you do, welcome with the muses behind the music, Dr. Joyce Garrett. Hello, friend.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You look fabulous.
Well, thank you. You too.
Oh, that's kind because I tell you what, like I'm over these braids right now, so I have attempted to do everything I possibly can to like get the hair together, and I'm prepping for rehearsals. So I'm in between this mode. But you look wonderful, and I will receive the compliment. Thank you so much. Thank you. How has Alfred Street and life been treating you?
Life's been treating me really wonderfully. Alfred Street is busy as ever. So
Y'all
we
get busier.
we just recently have kind of getting back to where we were pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So we are now back to 2 services. During the pandemic, one time we were doing just online, and then we went online and live, and now we're doing 2 live on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
And streaming and the whole thing that everybody's doing.
Yeah. Hey, just have you watched your music program at church grow during pandemic time? Did you feel like there was just
I
like
don't think it grew. I
Mhm.
think we maintained it. We were just anxious to try to maintain, because in the production world, we were using like 7 singers
Yeah.
when we have 5 large adult choirs. So it didn't grow. My biggest goal was to just maintain and make sure that after 3, 4, ever how long it was, that the choirs did not go away.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Strings.
you and I talked a little bit about uh, the dissolve of choirs across the board in
Yes.
churches, and praise and worship teams that are formulating. And I really hope that many churches understand the rich history and the great depth of having the choir
Oh,
present.
yes.
How are you keeping that in the forefront? Like, I get adding all of these other elements to
Yeah.
it, but the choir has to stay. How do you keep that vibrant?
I talked to Pastor Wesley about it. I guess he gets tired of hearing me. I'm talking always about make sure we keep the choirs, because what happened in 3 years, we got accustomed to 7 or 8 people singing.
Yes.
So we realized that's really possible. That is so possible every week.
Yep.
However, we had all of these wonderful singers from choirs and ensembles that were not singing.
Yeah.
So now they are trickling back in. Like my choir, I used to sing with maybe 60 on Sunday morning, on our Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be maybe 75 or 80 on the row, and you sing with about 60.
Yeah.
Now my largest attendance has been 50 have come back so far.
Yeah.
There are choirs that had about 45, 50 singers who now have seen only make 25 or 30 of them so far.
Yeah.
So right now we're in a rebuilding stage.
Yeah. I think that's all of us across the board in churches, trying to figure this out, because now, I'm just being honest. It's not like the pastors don't know. We have access to be at home in pajamas, in
Exactly.
whatever, and tune in to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different services.
I look at 5, 6, 7 on every Sunday afternoon.
See?
I watch you at the cathedral.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate this. I do appreciate the support. Keep sending the energy.
Yes, yes.
No, I
Beautiful.
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's just it just has changed the way that we church today, and I don't want us to change every aspect of it, especially not losing out on the choirs. There is a community builder in having a choral program, and especially in church. I'm like, outside of what it does to the worship environment, but it's a necessity. And I think more than anything now, as we're coming back out of the pandemic, we need to have that. We need to keep
I think we're gonna have to really fight for it.
Absolutely.
Everybody that has had choirs, it's not gonna be easy everything has changed. Nothing, it's like, it's not a new normal, it's just new. Everything, nothing that we did, a lot of the things we did 3 years ago will never, they're gone.
Yeah.
That's over. So we're trying to, how do we maneuver in this new way?
Yeah.
With choirs, with, is there a need for all of these choirs? I
Wow.
mean, you answer your question, you're asking constant questions. Do we need 5 adult choir? Do we need, and then, how do we uh, get all of these singers to participate when,
Mhm.
when you've got, and what happens with the ones that are with the in-ear mics, and they are the perhaps your better singers, and they are your front line, and people have to get used to production and the whole thing, because once we found out how important sound was,
Oh my goodness.
all the people that are listening and watching, then you have to rethink the type of singers you're using,
Yeah.
and the singers you may not be using as much. So it's a lot
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
an amazing thing because we never ever thought about how sound was being carried. We'd sing in church
We
and it
were
was
just singing with a microphone in front of, we were just fine.
just fine.
But not now.
Worried about how's it translating online because
That's
what
right.
we
How
do
does it
here.
sound online?
That's it's huge. Did you ever think that, as an educator, we always knew that, especially the arts programs always suffered. Did you ever see or think that there would come a day where this would be challenged so much in the church? Because
Right.
music is just an integral part. Like it's a must, it's a
Oh,
given.
yes.
But did you ever
I
think
know.
it would be
I
so
know. I remember talking to somebody a few years ago, and they said, "Oh, our choir members, they just come in the choir loft about quarter of and sit down, and they just gather. They just, we practice once. You remember? I remember growing up, and there would be a rehearsal Friday before the third Sunday, if you sang on
absolutely
the third Sunday,
that's
and
right.
Tuesday before the fifth Sunday, and all of that kind of. But once you know that people all over the world are hearing and seeing what you're doing, it is changing the level of preparation. I think
Yes.
it's changing the way we think about. Oh, it's just church. They'll be fine.
Yes.
Baby, that sounds good. Oh, you all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's changing everything, because I'm telling you, the musicians there's a certain amount of angst just knowing, oh, it's my Sunday. I gotta get my music right. I mean, that wasn't there before.
I'm grateful for that because it's actually, elevated professionalism,
Yes, it has.
and being prepared. It always used to irritate me. All of that of what you just said. Coming into church, you don't have the music, learn. How's that possible? But now that
Now you
you all
know.
will be really front and center for people
Yes.
to hear your skill. They
Hmm.
are making
Yeah.
themselves more aware of, oh, I need to get this together.
Yes, I agree. I
Glad
agree.
about it. So very,
Hmm.
so very glad about it from that
Yeah.
aspect, at least.
Yeah.
Is there something you've done a lot, Joyce, in your career? A lot.
Hmm.
And your career is still going. Is there something that you haven't done that you've always
That I
wanted
really
to
wanted to
do?
do. No, do you know I did exactly what I wanted to do? I wanted, like you had, I don't know whether you probably enjoyed it as much as I did. A high school choir
Yes.
was what I wanted. I wanted to direct a high school
That's it.
choir.
Yes.
I never thought about college choir. I
Right.
started off it with the junior high school choir, and for a little while I was thinking, this is a nice age to try to
Yes.
work with.
Yeah.
But I always had in the back of my mind, I want sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses.
That's
I
it.
want, that voice and I loved working with teenagers,
Yeah.
which is what you're
Yeah.
experiencing working with
Yeah.
children of the gospel. It's something about teenagers. They have the energy,
Mm-hmm.
enough innocence, but then they have the ability to do anything.
Yes.
They can, and if you turn them on to something,
Yes.
You
They're,
got it.
they're
And
fully,
they don't like to be embarrassed. So you don't have to worry about them performing poorly.
yeah,
I never had in 30 years, I never had not one choir perform poorly. They may
yeah,
rehearse poorly and act crazy in choir
right,
rehearsal.
right.
But if you get in front of an audience, they are on
On.
point.
They're on. I
Yeah,
always say to the group, like, why do y'all have to keep me waiting until the performance?
exactly. Oh yeah,
Like, I
I
want
know
to feel
that.
good in the rehearsal too, you know.
Right.
But
But
that,
they will never disappoint in performance.
yeah,
Never.
most of that too is because I would put all of my money on it to say that your students didn't want to disappoint you.
Oh yeah, well maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they had
Mhm,
such
mhm.
I see it now as, you know, any conversation that I have with adults who have been under your tutelage, and they have the utmost of respect for you. So if
Mhm.
they have it today and how you have just impacted and transformed their life, if they have it today, they certainly had it then.
Yeah. I think sometimes I think I must have been driven. I was just driven. I didn't think about it. I just saw all these needs, all these teenagers that did not know how to be successful in life. And
Mhm.
I first noticed it when I noticed that they the direction they were walking was opposite from the direction they claimed they wanted to be, what
Yeah,
they wanted to do in life.
yeah.
So they would say, I want to be an engineer. And I would say, "Oh, what kind of math class did you take?" "Oh, I didn't take nothing but general math." And so you knew
Right,
right then that's impossible. You're not going to be what you want to
right.
be. They want to be a music major, but they didn't take any music electives. So that was the first thing that
Mhm,
made me realize what
mhm.
you said earlier, that it's got to be more than about music.
More than music,
It's got to
absolutely,
be, because
absolutely.
music might be the least important thing
Yeah,
they need to be learning.
yeah. I actually believe that, and I just started, I think in the last 5 years, believing that all the more, that
Yeah,
these kids are not coming into arts classes, specifically choral classes, music classes, period, on the high school level, because they just love singing. No, they're
right.
finding a space of, allowing them
Support,
to be themselves. Yes,
right.
absolute support in
Mhm.
all facets,
Yes.
and that is what we are there for. To
Mhm.
me, that's part of the responsibility, to nurture that humanism that lies within them, and to give direction and
Right.
guidance that some of them are
I
just.
think we do the same thing coaches do.
Yes,
I think it's very closely related to that.
absolutely.
You notice they start calling the coach dad,
Yep.
and because they would immediately start calling me Ma.
Yes.
And anyone, have you noticed, if any person that pays attention to them in a personal way, they see it as a maternal thing. So
Yeah.
they start calling you mom, and
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
all the time. I
Mhm.
get that. To this day, there are still the students from Dunbar High
Mhm.
School that
Mhm.
I talk with. I mean, they will,
Yes.
anytime they address me, it's always "Mom." "Hey,
Yes.
how you doing? How you feeling?" And it's like, eh, they're just so real. They just, and that was so many years ago, but yet the impact,
Mhm.
as much as they might feel that I have impacted their lives, they've impacted mine.
Yes. Oh, so much, so
Yeah.
much. The first year I went to Eastern, that's 1972. That year we had a big anniversary program. Do you know the students gave me a trophy? I still have it. And the plaque said, Joyce Garrett, mother. I
Oh,
was 27 years old,
oh, yeah,
teaching, teaching 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds. And I'm like, they were already seeing me in this motherly role. It was nothing I said I wanted to do, but that's how they see you.
yeah. And
If you
also, it's that we probably didn't see ourselves like that, but when the calling is there. You know, it's all those things that that God has already placed within us that naturally comes out, that they feel and they sense the energy of who we are, the real and the nurture that they need so much. They're getting it just by seeing you and being in your presence. I love
Yes.
that. The
Yeah.
truth. That's
I have. The last time I talked to you, I think I told you that I was writing my memoirs. So
yes.
I finished it. It should be published one soon. And
Awesome.
I talk about the reason I think I turned out like I did because my mother contracted tuberculosis as soon as I was born. The only place she could come for treatment as a Black person was Freedman's Hospital.
Right.
So she left me in North Carolina with my father. She came to DC. Okay, so my father is in this house with 3 sisters. So he let his sisters raise me. So I let my aunts really raise me. So I'm growing up, didn't have my mother there, didn't have my father really in my life.
Yeah.
And I began then to, you internalize.
Yeah.
If I ever get in a position.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
To be what I was missing.
Yes.
And I think that it's always got to be something like, why are you doing all this? And it's subconscious. I was doing it because I always felt like there ought to be one person in the world that the sun rises and sets, that you feel that the sun rises and sets in that person.
Yeah.
You got to have at least one person.
Yeah, just one.
And so when I got here and saw all these kids that were just floundering and seeming like they didn't have that one person, then I think that's where I became so deeply involved in those students. Well, if you're not going to have a person, I'll have to be that person. I'm going to be the one that's not going to let you fall through the cracks. I'm going to be the one to love you.
Yeah. That's the bottom line of what we're all looking for, especially young people.
Exactly.
Just somebody who loves and believes.
And if you mix that with a talent for music, and create kind of like an incubator, an atmosphere that when they come in that room, in that space, they feel love, they feel acceptance, they feel support, then things can happen. Good things can happen.
Absolutely. Do you have any regrets? I hate that word regret personally.
No, I don't have any regrets. The only regret I had after I retired, and I've been retired since 99, the only regret was that I couldn't still be Miss Garrett to some folks that needed a Miss Garrett. Because I knew that the needs are still there.
Yeah.
However, there are a lot of people out here that are doing the same thing I did, same thing you did. There are other people doing it. But that's your regret. When you pick up the paper every day, like 3 kids got shot yesterday in PG County, and when you read the paper, you see that there's still a need.
Yes.
For these children.
Yeah. Can you, or do you show up as Miss Garrett when you're working in the church? Is there a difference? Is there what I would almost think.
I think at this point, it's like I'm reaping the benefits of the Miss Garrett experiences that I've had, and not trying to do so much now. It's just I almost feel like
Joyce. I feel you, right?
Yeah, you pass the baton to the next person.
That's it.
But there is a need. There is a need.
That's it. Talk about passing the baton. So, Children of the Gospel, we're walking into our 30th anniversary, 30 years. And most of the people who I have met, and I'm talking about young folk who I have met, they have had involvement with you from Children of the Gospel. How did you get involved with
I remember Eric Terrain, I think by the early 90s.
Yep.
This was after the choir had gone to Europe. So my name was out there as a choral director, and I was invited to, I did the first one, I think, with Evelyn Currington. And that's where I met her. I
Oh,
couldn't
wow.
believe, for real, I could not believe that she had been here for 10 years doing this amazing music. I had never met her.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we worked together on that. And through Children of the Gospel, I got to meet Patrick Lundy because
Yeah.
one year we did he carried me. So I had been listening to his CD, and then that's Patrick Lundy. So then I met him through Children of the Gospel, met Yolanda Adams because she was
Yeah.
a guest. So we had some great experiences and great concerts. And there were like 200 children then. Remember that?
I remember.
There were 200
Oh
of
my
them.
God, I remember because the
Mhm.
sound, I will never forget. I came in 97 to
Yes,
do one of the summer with the little children, the like
right.
elementary school kids.
Oh, yes.
And I stood after for rehearsal, and it was in Shiloh, and I was in the rehearsal, and I thought, what is in front of me, Lord?
Oh, yeah.
Have mercy. I have
Yeah.
never heard
Oh,
such
yeah.
incredible and seen
Oh, yes.
young people who just had a heart for God and worship.
Oh,
Never
yes.
saw
Oh,
that
yes.
with
Oh,
so
yeah.
many of them. It was an unreal and surreal experience.
Yeah.
In
And singing at the Kennedy Center was
yeah,
special then because there weren't many Black people that had done it by then.
that's
You
right.
know,
That's
we
right.
didn't really go over there that much. And so that this was a way to bring in the Black audience.
Mm-hmm.
But it was new. It was something different. It was very prestigious
Yes.
to sing at the Kennedy Center. And so I enjoyed all of those experiences. It was like, it was always special when you were called. Would you be one of the directors for Children of the Gospel? Would
Yeah.
you be one of the directors for Men and Women of the Gospel?
Yeah.
And it was easier because we worked in teams.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sometimes I worked with
Right.
Tommy Tyler. You know, you work
Yeah.
with different people, which
Yeah.
made it fun too.
Was there a Joyce Garrett song? Like, was the I
You
have
know what? I don't remember. I wonder. I don't remember any special song that I taught uh, children of the gospel. What I do know is whatever was the top of when Kirk Franklin did "Why We Sing."
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was if it was on the radio and it was a top 40 gospel hit, somebody was going to sing one of those
Right.
songs on our concert.
Always.
And then we would bring in something unfamiliar music or unfamiliar choral music.
Yeah.
But you could rest assured, whatever was the song
Well,
would
I
be
want you
sung on the
to
top.
know that when we're celebrating this 30th anniversary, I need all of y'all to come
Yes.
back. All of y'all to come back and just have
I'm looking forward to coming. I'm coming.
yes, incredible reunion. And I often tell the kids, they might not know who you are and they need to. But for someone like me who, you have been a trailblazer for me in the education sector with Children of the Gospel. And I pay great homage to you and Dr. Tyler,
Yes.
just setting the bar, like setting the bar as to what our young people can do, our little Black and brown kids from the DMV, and now
Exactly.
an expansion of it. It's come one, come all. You love gospel music and you can sing. Let's keep that in mind too. And you can sing. You are welcome in this space. But at a time where Children of the Gospel presented itself, there wasn't anything
No,
available.
no,
And so this is
no.
like a saving grace for so
Yeah.
many of our DMV kids.
And there had been a time when gospel music didn't always have the standard, the
Yeah.
highest standard. So a part of Children of the Gospel and Men and Women of the Gospel going to the Kennedy Center also elevated the
Yes.
genre
Yes.
in people's minds who had a negative thought about it.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
seems that we're always fighting. We're fighting. Right now we're fighting for choirs. Back then we were fighting for the respect of the gospel genre, period.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
had to fight for that. And that was one way we could do it. We could take it to the Kennedy Center and show that it was just as important and just as amazing genre as anything else.
And a
as
high
anything else.
level art form.
Exactly.
It is a high level art form, especially today with, how these folk are writing. I sometimes look at the music and I'm just like, wow, this is we have really evolved
Yes, we have.
ourselves, and it is not easy to play. It's not sometimes it's not easy to sing. I mean, it's just a lot intricate.
Yeah.
And I always want people to respect the art form for what it is, as well as the great history of the art form. So you are embarking on a really special project right now, and I want you to share a little bit about that. I'm like amazed because you ran the Kennedy Center Honors, handled the music for them for years, as well as Christmas in Washington, and provided background vocals for Diana Ross and
everybody.
I mean, that's just amazing to me. Like, you were the go-to. It's coming into the DMV. I need a choir. I need a director. Joyce Garrett was it. And here it is, the same exact thing. It continues with happening.
I'm trying to figure out where these people found my name, probably through one of those producers from one of those shows.
That's right.
There is a group called the Art of Living Foundation. The Art of Living Foundation, founded by an Indian spiritualist, Gurudev, how do we pronounce it? Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. We know Ravi Shankar.
Wow. Okay.
He founded this group, and the goal was, it's a nonprofit dedicated to creating a stress-free, violence-free society. They do a lot of meditations classes, and they have hundreds of thousands of people all over the world that are part of this nonprofit. They've done this World Culture Festival to bring peoples of the world together. They've done it 3 times before. The last time was in India, but it is huge. It is epic. It's like every act is from all around the world, but it's not like 2 or 3 people. It's 100. Like there could be big. There's a choir of 1,000 Chinese singers.
Wow.
There is a dance troupe with 500 Chinese dancers. There's going to be a go-go band with 100 players.
I can't. That I want.
Can you imagine 4 people doing 100 people doing go-go at one time?
No, I can't.
That's
be out there grouping.
Let's see what else they have. There are Jewish performances, country music, folk music, people from Mongolia, people from the Middle East, people from North America, people from Africa. It's just there are going to be 100 African drummers, 500 dancers, including break dancers, and the stage is like 6 or 7 acres.
That's crazy.
And it's going to be on the National Mall. And I went online, said, "Oh, the World Culture Festival." If you look it up, there are some wonderful videos online, and they pull it off. I mean, the one in India, it's just hundreds and hundreds of performers in every act in these beautiful outfits. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with 1,000 people singing gospel. We were like, well, maybe we should at least have T-shirts on, like, or something.
Yeah.
But the biggest task is to find 1,000 people. So they asked me, would I lead the team? I'm like, okay, then I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? For real, I woke up thinking, oh, how do you
Right.
get 1,000 people to sing? So I got about 10 other people.
Mhm.
I'm getting people that get satellite groups.
Yes.
So if you get 10 people to get 100 people apiece,
There
you
you go.
got your 1,000. So I'm doing more than 10. We
Yeah.
got Ricky Payton is my co-chair. Ricky
Yes.
Payton Sr. He's fabulous to
Yes.
work with.
Ricky is
He
fab.
has a big network all
Yes,
around.
he does. Yes, he.
Patrick Lundy,
Uh-huh.
Roderick Giles,
Mhm.
Theodore Thorpe III,
Mhm.
Taiwan Bradford, who was my
Mhm.
assistant at Eastern. We've asked Ned Lewis,
Yes.
Leonard Starks, Leona Lowry. I've got the director of the Norfolk State Choir. He said he's going to bring his choir. Philip Carter's going. I'm going to be on with him tomorrow night
Yes.
talking about it because he's got an amazing network of gospel singers.
Mhm.
We have Carla Bowens.
Okay.
Carla's going to say she said, oh, I can help get you some people because she's has her own little network of churches and people.
Fantastic.
We've asked the Michael Hughes from the Gay Men's Chorus. He's
Mhm.
bringing some people. We just need the
People.
people to come. And it's so simple. There's a simple registration form. And what I'll do is they're working on a QR code.
Yes.
So when I get it, I'll give it to you.
Fantastic. And I will make
You
sure
can just share it.
I will share
And the
it.
registration is on there. And they just want your name and what church affiliation or what any kind of affiliation, who told you about the event. And then we will contact you through email.
Because will there be a rehearsal, several
Yes, the
rehearsals?
first rehearsal is going to be on Saturday, June 24th. We'll probably have one rehearsal in July, another one in August.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to send the music to people because there are people coming from other states as
Yes.
well. So
Right.
we'll send the music to people, and when they come to rehearsal, I think that the typical singer can probably do this with 2 rehearsals
Awesome.
because we have it 8 to 10 minute medley. It's going to include Patrick Lundy's "Let There Be Peace."
Mm.
There's a piece that's going to include Ricky Payton's "Change the World." I mean, we got a bunch of songs that have to do with world
Yes.
brotherhood and love and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
being together.
Right.
And we hooking it all up together. We're going to get some top musicians to be our accompanists. I
Mm-hmm.
can't even imagine. Can you imagine lining up 1,000 people? How do you do
No,
that?
no. But you know what, Joyce? What I have discovered working with you before is you will get them in line.
We're gonna get them somehow.
That
We're probably gonna have all these people I named spaced out all across that
yes.
place. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
amazing. So
And,
how
and let me tell you the date of it. It's gonna be Saturday, September the 30th. This event, the World Culture Festival, is gonna be on the National Mall from September 29th through October the 1st. So
uh-huh.
the 29th is Friday, September 30th is Saturday, October 1st. That'll be the end of it on that Sunday morning. But
And
we want to do ours on Saturday.
on Saturday. So yours is September the 30th
Yes.
that folk need to come. So for those who are interested in signing up, once the QR code comes out, how do they sign up for you? They want to be a part of your choir. How
No, they will sign up the same way
okay.
because when the registration form will say which person are you connected to? How did you find out about? They
Got
just
you.
put Joyce Garrett
Got you.
or I put your name
Mm-hmm.
the music behind me. They'll just say that.
Got you. And we want folk.
And we need their email addresses. They are working on the QR code. I was hoping it was going to be ready today, but it's
Yeah,
not.
that's all right.
Mhm.
That's all right because
Mhm.
We're prepping everybody.
Just getting the word out.
There you
Yes.
go. So they'll just be ready that when the code comes out, they'll go directly, no questions
Right.
asked,
Right.
and they know. So again, it's the World Culture Festival, Culture Festival.
Yeah, World Culture Festival
On September 30th, although it runs from that weekend. It's September 30th that this belongs to the Joyce Garrett's production of things, and the
1,000 voice gospel choir is what they want. Mm-hmm.
I mean, come
So,
on, folk, come one, come all.
I know. They're in the right places. They want some good gospel singers here in Washington, in this area. So we're gonna. I think our first rehearsal is gonna be at Refreshing Springs, but we'll on the 24th. We're trying to have it there because they have good parking and everything. Right. So I think if we can get 200 or 300 people here and another 200 or 300 there, I mean, we're gonna do this in pieces.
Yes.
We might have to go to Northern Virginia and get that crowd.
That's right.
So in another area to get that crowd. Mm-hmm. And then the day of, everybody come and sing to their heart's delight. And we'll have stems so they will be able to hear and sing. Yeah, they would have to be able to. I still can't imagine how we do 1,000 people.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
But they've done it before.
And
so they know how to mic it, and they got a great big old production company that's used to doing it.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I can't. Afterward, I'm gonna have to sit with you so I can hear about how this worked, because that just means for future things.
Exactly.
Future things, that is just incredible. Incredible. I see that our time is limited and winding down, but that's okay. I have one more thing that I really would love for you to answer for us, and that's just a question about your life philosophy.
I think my philosophy is excellence at all turns. I think that is the secret. There are so many people satisfied with mediocrity.
Yeah, my God.
Whatever you do above that sets you apart. And also, my experience has been to, once you get in a little trajectory of excellence, dominoes start falling.
Yeah.
So you do this and you do that well. The next thing you know, somebody asks you to do that. You do that well. And what I've always done is, any good opportunity, I always say yes. And then I figure out how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't let the fear of doing it stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's why I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, how in the world will I get 1,000 people to sing? I said, yes. Now I'm figuring out how to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can figure it out.
That's it.
If you set your mark for yourself,
that's it.
You can figure out how to get there.
Yeah,
that's my philosophy.
I love that, and I see that showing up in so many different spaces of even my life journey. I believe in that deeply. Like, sometimes you can't cross every T and dot every I. Sometimes you just need to go on ahead and begin the process.
And go ahead and begin the process.
And as the process is unfolding itself, things just begin to fall into place in alignment. I think too, you have to have some sort of a faith grounding.
Oh, yeah,
that allows that trust.
Yes.
And belief in knowing that this is bigger than you and I.
And also it's like, if you feel like your life is aligned with what God's will is for your life.
Yes.
Why you were put here, what you were put here to do. Yes. I have a friend who always tells me, Joyce, God is always going to give you everybody you need to do what you have to do.
Yep.
It's amazing. As soon as I said yes, next thing I knew, somebody said, Ricky Payton would be a good person to work with you. I mean, and the name started coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's how it works.
That's how it is how it works.
That's how it works. I so appreciate you, Joyce. I
And
do.
I so appreciate you.
I do. And thank you so much again. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about your memoir. And
Mhm.
so when that gets published, I definitely want you to come back on the Muses
I
Beyond
will.
after I read it, and then we
Mhm.
can have a good time
Okay,
talking about
sure.
it. You know, you've got so much to share and to pour into people who are still in education, and they're,
Mhm.
you know, trying to make their way. It's very different
Yeah,
from
it is.
when you first started, when I first started, even now to when I ended this past year.
Mhm.
I'm trying to understand how so many keep it going for so long because things have just changed greatly. But you have
Yeah,
such
they have.
knowledge to pour into people that I'm excited to hear about your life and things that I have no idea about, and get to know you a little bit more through your writings.
Wonderful. Yes. I'll let you know when it's
Yeah,
done.
please do. Looking
Mhm.
forward to that. And so, to my muses who are out here and that you have listened in, please don't forget to like and share and to subscribe to the channel, to our YouTube channel, and share this with somebody. I'm hoping and believing that there's a message in what you heard today that you can take with you, a golden nugget, as we say, and apply it along your journey and share it with somebody else. You never know how it might bless them. Until the next time,
All righty.
peace and blessings. Thank you so much, my friend.
And thank all of you. Bye.